Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Paul Enos, filling in today for Sam Shad. We're going to be talking to Las Vegas City Councilman and Republican candidate for Lieutenant Governor Stavros Anthony. We're going to be talking politics, shutdowns, and law enforcement. That's next on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
The next time there's a crisis, at school or in your neighborhood, who do you trust to protect your family? Who do you want answering the phone? A corrupt politician looking for headlines? Or a tested leader?
This is Joe.
You knew the answer. Joe Lombardo has served with honor and integrity. And unlike our current governor, he'll put service before self, just like he always has.
It's the $85,000 football frenzy at Tamarack Casino with up to $15,000 in weekly cash and free play giveaways and $25,000 in grand prize giveaways Thursday, September 29th. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino during the $85,000 football frenzy.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years.
Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. We are here with Las Vegas City Councilman and Republican candidate for Lieutenant Governor Stavros Anthony. Stavros, welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. Great to have you on.
Well, great to be with you, Paul. You're a great Nevadan.
Well, hey, I feel the same way about you, my friend. So now that we get the pleasantries out of the way, let's talk a little bit about your history and why you've decided to do this. You've been on the Board of Regents. You've been a city councilman. You ran for Clark County Commission in 2020 and lost to Ross Miller by, 10 votes, 15 votes? And I mean, kind of similar to the first time you were elected to the city council. I think that was about a 10-vote exercise as well.
Yeah, that's a pretty good description of my background. I mean, I did 29 years with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. I retired as a captain, had a great career, went back to UNLV, got my master's and PhD. I did run for the Board of Regents twice, so it was an honor to serve our higher education system and move that along. And then in 2009, I did decide to run for the city council. I was told I couldn't win because there hadn't been a Republican elected in 15 years. But I said, screw it, I'm running. I ran against 5 other Democrats and ended up winning by 10 votes exactly. So I tell everybody, your vote counts. I mean, those last 10 people that voted for me, God bless them for doing that. So,
well, let's talk about the city council. I mean, that's a race where a lot of people. Yeah, it's something they really don't think about. I mean, when people talk about politics, typically it's about the president or United States senator or the governor or congressman, and there's not a whole lot of focus on the local government level. Talk to us about, what your job is there.
That is a great description, but I tell everybody that local government probably has more impact on people's lives on a day-to-day basis. So, we do land use. So how you develop the city, where you put apartments, where you put housing, affects people where they live. When somebody wakes up in the morning and they see graffiti across the street, from their house, they want it gone, but they're not calling their senator, they're not calling their congressman, they're calling their local city council person. And when they call my office, it's gone the next day. And I think they have a lot more faith in government when they call a government official and they actually do something for them. You know, fixing sidewalks, making sure parks are in great shape, making sure we have a good police force, making sure we have roads to drive on. That's what impacts people every single day, not what's going on in Washington, D.C. So I get a lot of satisfaction from being a city councilman because I actually touch people's lives every single day, and I really enjoy that.
What are the dynamics on the city council in terms of working together with each other? You have, you know, it's fairly balanced between independents, Republicans, Democrats, which is kind of rare for a body, especially one in Southern Nevada.
You know, in Southern Nevada, just about every local government is primarily all Democrats, and they're technically nonpartisan, but nothing's really nonpartisan. So when I was elected 13 years ago, I was the first Republican, so there was a lot of 6-to-1 votes when it came to spending. I'm just kind of a fiscal conservative. Today we have 3 Republicans and we have 3 Democrats, and we have Carolyn Goodman, who's kind of an independent. So I think we have better discussions that way. I think we make better decisions when you have both sides discussing an issue. We kind of come sometimes to the middle on stuff. So it works out great. We get along very well on the city council.
Well, it's nice to see that balance. I mean, that's balance. Yeah, we typically don't.
Right.
We don't see a whole lot, you know, either you're one way or the other, but kind of nice to see that, you know, at least in a couple of our city councils.
Yep.
So, you know, you did run for county commission, and as I said, that was also a squeaker between you and now Commissioner Ross Miller. That was, I think, 10 votes, and then you said 15 votes. Now being here, running for statewide office, are you happy to be in that place as opposed to being on the commission?
You know, like you said, I did run for the Clark County Commission. It turned into a real debacle when it came to the election system and election integrity. I ended up, after the recount, losing by 15 votes, and that was the end of it, and I moved on, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do as far as my future. But I ended up looking at the lieutenant governor position last November. There was only one other person running, and the first thing I did ask myself, which is what everybody asks me, is what exactly does the lieutenant governor do? So I actually looked it up. And you know, the lieutenant governor is responsible for tourism, responsible for transportation, responsible for supporting small businesses, has homeland security responsibility, and is the president of the Senate. And I looked at it and says, that's exactly what I've been doing for the last 40 years. I mean, I've been involved in tourism on the Las Vegas City Council. I've been involved in transportation as the Traffic Safety Bureau captain at Metro, and I'm currently on the Southern Nevada Regional Transportation Commission. I've supported businesses by lowering fees and taxes and licensing requirements. Obviously, I have Homeland Security, so this is a perfect fit for me. So I decided to run, and there was 6 of us in the primary. I won pretty substantially, and I plan on winning the general because my opponent has absolutely no knowledge in anything involving what a lieutenant governor does. So I plan on winning in November, and I think I'm going to have a solid impact in those areas that lieutenant governor is responsible for. And I'm looking forward to working with Joe Lombardo to really change the trajectory of the state, because it's not been going in the right direction the last 2 years.
I want to delve into that a little bit more when we come back on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
It's the $250,000 progressive windfall of cash at Carson Valley Inn. Weekly progressives could accumulate up to $35,000 in cash and $20,000 in guaranteed grand prize giveaways. It's the $250,000 progressive windfall of cash at the Carson Valley Inn.
Some of our leaders stood up to the big drug companies, passing the new law that allows Medicare to negotiate lower prescription prices for our families. But Adam Laxalt opposed this plan. Turns out Laxalt has a personal financial stake in drug companies. When they make money, he makes money. No wonder Laxalt joined Big Pharma opposing the plan that lowers our medicine costs. That's Adam Laxalt, selling us out so he can cash in. SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
Ahern Rentals began as Signal Gas Station on Las Vegas Boulevard. Founder John Ahern grew the business by offering rentals. His son Don built on John's legacy, growing Ahern Rentals into the largest independently owned American rental company, with 89 locations in 30 states. Don also brought his experience and vision to equipment manufacturing with Extreme Manufacturing and Snorkel. Today, Ahern Rentals continues to bring its family values to a new generation. Learn more at ahern.com.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Nevada Newsmakers Studio is located at the headquarters of the Nevada Trucking Association. Motion and purpose are a truck's greatest virtue.
Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. We are here with Las Vegas City Councilman and Republican candidate for Lieutenant Governor. That's a mouthful. Stavros Anthony. Stavros, you were on the City Council. You're still on the City Council. You know, during probably one of the most challenging time, if not the most challenging time, you know, in the history of maybe the world, but definitely the city of Las Vegas, dealing with the COVID pandemic. And Las Vegas got a lot of attention. Mayor Carolyn Goodman got a lot of attention. What was the dynamic on the City Council in that time? And what was the dynamic in working with the governor and the folks at the state?
You know, 2 years ago, or even longer than that, when the governor said he was going to shut down the state for a couple of weeks, everybody was like, okay, we're not sure what's going on. We're not sure if he can even do that, but we kind of went along with it because nobody really knew what was happening as far as COVID. But after about 3 weeks, you know, I'm the mayor pro tem and Carolyn Goodman's the mayor. We just got together and said, this is ridiculous. I mean, this shutdown is destroying people's lives. People can't get their unemployment checks. People can't go to work. Some businesses we know are not going to reopen. The major corporations, the big businesses are doing okay, but these little mom and pop shops are getting destroyed. So we just decided that, you know, Mayor Goodman would be the spokesperson for opening up the economy. And she went out there and was very public about it, and I supported her 100%. And we caught a lot of slack over it. And there were things like, you know, the state wanted us to enforce their closure rules, and we said we're not doing that. We are not using our employees to punish small businesses. We decided that we were not going to force our employees to get vaccinated. So we really pushed back because we knew our economy was just getting devastated. And you know, we were outspoken about it, but the governor continued it. And to this day, I can't believe that he shut down schools for this long. Forced kids to wear masks for as long as they did, forced businesses to close down and then open at 50% and talk about essential and non-essential employees. I tell you, it was the worst discussion we've ever had, and we're not going to do that again. We're never going to go through that again.
Was there any conversation with them, or was it pretty shut off during that time?
No, there was no conversation. Not really. There wasn't much. I never talked to the governor about it. I don't think Carolyn Goodman did either, but we just decided we are going to try to do what we can for the residents of the city of Las Vegas to make this closure as easy as possible for them, and didn't work out that way, but that's just the way it was.
So when you look at it, do you think we're back? You know, we see gaming numbers have gone up. You know, we see, hey, Las Vegas is back. I mean, we're hitting record highs. Do you think we are back, or do you still think we have some ways to go?
Well, I mean, the economy is back. Unfortunately, inflation is through the roof. The gas prices are through the roof. I mean, it's affecting your trucking industry. So inflation is the economy's back, but inflation is causing people to spend more money as they're going back to work. So the economy is still a mess. And I think what we learned is that we, at the legislature, we have to talk about what emergency powers the governor has, and we have to make sure that we never do this again. We never destroy our economy over something like this again. It can't happen.
No, I think, you know, a lot of folks who close their businesses down, you know, there's some that haven't reopened yet and gone. I mean, a lot of my favorite restaurants, you know, place that I used to love, no more. We are speaking with Las Vegas City Councilman and candidate for Lieutenant Governor Stavros Anthony, and we're going to be right back on Nevada Newsmakers.
It's the $85,000 football frenzy at Tamarack Casino with up to $15,000 in weekly cash and free play giveaways and $25,000 in grand prize giveaways Thursday, September 29th. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino during the $85,000 football frenzy.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Events Center in Las Vegas. Host meetings and events on 2 floors. Stay in luxurious rooms and suites. Unlimited branding opportunities. Regional Italian cuisine by Chef Mark Segrisi. Flexible event spaces. Full buyout options. Visit ahernhotel.com today.
Everyone is talking about opioids, but they're not the only drugs that can be harmful if taken in large quantities or not as prescribed. You also need to be aware of side effects from anxiety drugs, muscle relaxants, sleep aids, and stimulants. Mixing prescription drugs with other drugs or alcohol can be dangerous. If you take an Ambien with a glass of wine, it may be enough to stop you from breathing. Prescribed drugs can be just as dangerous as illegal drugs. Take medications only as directed.
Hi, I'm Renee Summerauer, digital news anchor here at 7 at 7. Watch our streaming nonstop newscast immediately with your mobile phone. 7 at 7 is the new way for you to get every bit of local news you need in just 7 minutes. Breaking news, local neighborhood news, weather, and sports are just a click away. Reporters bring you all of what's happening in the Valley. From Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, YouTube, and more. Get every bit of local news you need from the RJ and LVRJ.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. We are here with Las Vegas City Councilman and Republican candidate for Lieutenant Governor Stavros Anthony. You know, Stavros, you know, you have been in elected office for a number of years, from the border regions to Las Vegas City Council. But, you know, people might not know your background. What initially brought you to Nevada, to Las Vegas?
So I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, graduated from Wayne State University. I wanted to be a police officer, but it was 1980. It was a terrible auto recession. Nobody was hiring in Detroit, and I decided, you know what, I'm 23 years old, time to move on. And Las Vegas just happened to be hiring with a few other cities, primarily in the Southwest, because that's where the growth was going. So Las Vegas happened to test first, and I came out, tested, and they hired me. And 29 years later, I rose to the rank of captain, had a great career. I was a police officer for 10, a sergeant for 5, a lieutenant for 4, and then, like I said, my last 10 years I was a captain, and loved every minute of it. And I'm glad that was the career I chose.
What changed in law enforcement from 1980 through that 29 years? Because there's a tremendous amount of focus right now on law enforcement, on the police, and it's just one of those battles where it seems that both sides are kind of button heads. What changed while you were a cop?
You know, that is a great observation, Paul. Most of my career, the community, for the most part, I mean, 90% had a lot of respect for police officers, backed them 100%. And obviously, when a police officer did something wrong, they were held accountable. But for the most part, they backed police officers and wanted their community safe. The last 2 years have been absolutely crazy, with the Democrat Party wanting to defund the police. When they had these riots a couple of years ago in some of our cities during the summer, Democrat Party's calling police officers stormtroopers, allowing the riots to occur, saying that the police officers were the ones that were instigating these riots. I mean, it was unbelievable what I saw. And it was, the community still supported police, but it was the leadership, primarily in the Democrat Party, that just hated the cops. And I've never seen anything like that before.
You know, I look at what happened in Las Vegas, and, you know, while it didn't go as bad as it went in some other cities, you know, unfortunately there was a young cop named Shea McAlonis who was shot and, you know, paralyzed during those events. You know, kind of putting your law enforcement hat on while you're at the city council meeting. What was going through your head while all that was happening?
Well, we're watching riots across the country in cities like Portland, Seattle, and the city councils there were not backing the police. What happened in Las Vegas is we had 1 or 2 nights of rioting, and you know, the credit goes to Sheriff Lombardo for stopping it in its tracks. I mean, he said he's not putting up with these riots, and he put the riots down. And our city council supported him 100%. We came out, I personally came out and said we need to get control of these riots. We cannot have the rioters controlling our city. So our city council supported Joe Lombardo, and he went out there and he was tough on these rioters. And we only had a couple of days where some cities went on months.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think it's still going on in Portland, right?
Yeah, they absolutely destroyed the city, and we didn't put up for that here. And the great part is the community backed us in Las Vegas. They did not want this to happen either. So we had a little different outcome here in Las Vegas because of our leadership, unlike other cities where the Democrats controlled those cities and absolutely destroyed them.
Yeah, looking at the response from the legislature, you know, we had a special session, you know, during, you know, kind of the aftermath of that. There was a big focus on law enforcement. Do you think we've achieved a balance? Do you think it's gone too far? You know, what do you think about the policies that the legislature has passed?
Well, you look at the laws that they passed 2 years ago, it was absolutely soft on crime. I mean, they reduced bail, they reduced they increased the amount that somebody could steal before it became a felony crime. I mean, they were soft on criminals and made it tougher for the police to protect our community. So we need to change all that. You know, I'm all for fair justice in our criminal justice system, but we got to be tough on repeat offenders. People that commit 2, 3, 4 crimes, they need to be held accountable. They need to be taken off the streets because you know, if you look at crime, 80% of the crime is committed by about 20% of the population, the criminals. We need to get those 20% off the street to keep our community safe, and the legislature didn't do that. So I'm hoping a Republican wave in November, we're going to come in and say we're going to take public safety as our top priority, and we're going to implement policies that are going to keep our community safe, because that's what people want. We do surveys at the City of Las Vegas every year, and the #1 priority is public safety. People want a safe park to go to, a safe grocery store to go to. They want to walk outside of their home and look around and say, this is a safe community. And it's the government that does that. It's the police departments and the legislature that do that. So that's what I want to do as your next lieutenant governor.
You know, I know a lot of law enforcement, they've had a difficult time recruiting. And I think because, hey, there have been some absolutely awful scenarios where you have had police officers abusing their authority, and that kind of gets, that broad brush gets painted on everybody. Is that still having an impact on your ability to go out and recruit folks to, you know, get into that #1 most important thing in the minds of most of your constituents?
Yeah, you know, that's another great observation. I'm on the board of an accreditation, national accreditation board for law enforcement, and so we accredit law enforcement departments all over the country. And the #1 issue today for police departments is recruiting. They just can't find people that want to be police officers, which is completely different from 20 years ago. People were flooding to be police officers, but the issue today is if you want to be...
Everybody wants to be a firefighter.
Yeah, exactly. Firefighters go to burning buildings and put the fire out, and they're heroes. So, but I love those guys. But today, you know, if you're thinking about being a police officer, you're sitting there going, wait a minute. I'm going to get taped. I'm going to get bashed. The people aren't going to support me. The Governments aren't going to support me. Why would I do that? So we need to change that trajectory. Well, police departments hold officers accountable if they do something wrong. I was the captain of internal affairs, and you know, if a police officer did something wrong, we took care of business. But very seldom does that happen. 95% of the time, police officers are doing a great job, and then unfortunately, you know, if you get in a use of force situation and you tape it, use of force never looks good. But you can clip it and make the police officer look bad, and all of a sudden they feel like they don't have their backs, and we need to change that. So recruiting is a big issue, and we need to be in a position to hire good men and women to be police officers for our communities.
All right, hey Stavros, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate talking to you about all these wide-ranging issues in your statewide candidacy for Lieutenant Governor. And we are going to be right back on Nevada Newsmakers.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
With Nevada's only transplant center and verified burn center, the science is here. With award-winning cardiologist and the state's only dedicated heart failure clinic, the talent is here. With Nevada's most advanced robotic surgery, the technology is here. And with the Silver State's only designated pediatric trauma center, hope is here. All because we are here. UMC.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators, from the exotic to the everyday, trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
It's the $85,000 football frenzy at Tamarack Casino with up to $15,000 in weekly cash and free play giveaways and $25,000 in grand prize giveaways Thursday, September 29th. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino during the $85,000 football frenzy.
Remember, you can watch all of our shows at NevadaNewsmakers.com. Thanks for watching and listening.